Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RDA. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the right man for the job? Let's dive head in first. I don't know, but I'm going to answer that question today. First of all, am I Ole in or Ole out? I'm Ole out, and I've been Ole out for a long while. So before you click off the video, at least give me a chance to explain my point of view. Because there's a lot of people who seem to think if you're Ole out, you want to see the world burn. You want to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get sacked tomorrow, and you do not understand the concept of giving a manager time. I understand the concept of giving a manager time. I understand that it's a process. I understand that we're not going to fix the last 8 years overnight. I get all of that. And that's exactly why I want Ole out. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came to Manchester United to restore the culture in the dressing room, to restore the morale of the team, to get rid of some of the deadwood, and to lay the foundation for the next manager. That's what I thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was coming to do, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was originally an intern. I never ever expected Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to go and win league titles. That was never an expectation of mine. I want Manchester United to win league titles, but I never placed those expectations on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think anybody who did is thick. Like really, you're thick. So now that we've got that part of the way, what are the other reasons that are making me Ole out? Do I think he has no tactics? Do I think he's a clown? Do I think he's Ollie the Wally? No, of course not. I don't think you can finish third in the league with no tactics. Anybody who does, you're an idiot. You're exposing yourself as an idiot, because you can't say the Premier League is one of the most competitive leagues in the world, but then say the person who came third has no tactics. What? Okay, so Ollie has no tactics, right? What about Mourinho who finished below him? What about Ancelotti who finished below him? What about all the other managers who you say have tactics that finished below him? Oh wait, yeah right, you're going to play the individual brilliance argument. You're going to play that, aren't you? You're going to play the individual brilliance argument, aren't you? Well, if you're one of the people who think Manchester United has gotten this far on individual brilliance alone, I don't know what to tell you. Look at Klopp without his individual brilliance. Look at Klopp without Van Dijk. Look at Man City when they didn't have Diaz and they didn't have Laporte. How far off a cliff they fell. So this individual brilliance argument for me doesn't work. What manager doesn't rely on individual brilliance? I was told that Klopp is a system manager, and it doesn't matter which players are in the system, it will thrive. Oh, really? Really? How's that system working now? Really? Really? Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, now that all the kids have clicked off the video and all the immature people have clicked off the video, let's talk to the adults. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't have tactics. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a terrible coach. But to be the coach that's going to take Manchester United to first in the league and to win major trophies, you can't just be good. You can't just be the guy who won 2 league titles at Mulder. You need to be damn good. You need to be adaptable. You need to be able to evolve your tactics when you do get found out. And I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing that. I think we're too direct. I think we look void of ideas at times. And I think for all the applaudance we get for our fullbacks bombing up, what's the point of our fullbacks bombing up if it doesn't stretch the defense open and allow our attackers to exploit through the middle? Mainly, also, if our fullbacks are bombing forward, if this direct playing style is the right playing style, if we're supposed to play with width, if we're supposed to play with bravado, which I agree with, by the way, because that's the Manchester United way, why do we not have proper wingers then? And furthermore, okay, fine, we didn't sign Jadon Sancho in the summer. Fine. Ole didn't get his priority signings. Fine, that's a fair argument. Why does Rashford play on the right then? Why not keep Rashford on the left, playing next to someone that he knows how to play with in Luke Shaw? Why does Mason Greenwood keep getting dropped when he clearly has chemistry with Wan-Bissaka, or better than Rashford, I think, because at least he plays on that side? Why do you keep switching Rashford to the right or then switching him back to the left as soon as Martial's preferred position becomes available? Now Rashford can go back to playing in the middle. I don't understand it personally. I really don't. There's a lot of paradoxes and oxymorons associated with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time at Manchester United. And I know this video is a little bit all over the place to my videos usually, or maybe they're all over the place. Maybe I always talk this much crap, but I'm trying to say that I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is consistent in his progression. He progresses in one area and then he goes completely backwards in another area. Like, for example, last season when we played McFred against the top 6 teams, it worked because we had an amazing record against the top 6 teams. This season, it hasn't worked. We've had 3 draws against the top 6, and then we've lost one game to Arsenal and drawn to them as well. I don't count them as part of the top six, maybe the traditional top six, but I mean the top six this season. Like, I don't know. For me, I'd swap Leicester and Arsenal in that top six because I feel like Leicester have been a better team than Arsenal in the last few years. I'm just going to keep it real in it. But if there are any Arsenal fans watching, I apologize. No disrespect. Anyways, my point is, McFred hasn't worked this season. There's no evidence to suggest that McFred should be playing this season. You could have said it last season, and I did say it last season. Last season, I was a fan of McFred. Not a fan of McFred over Paul Pogba and Matic, but an advocate of McFred because I was willing to put my personal feelings aside and say, hey, this partnership has worked in the past, therefore you are justified to pick it. But that reason no longer exists because we are shite against the Big Six. So that's one of the many examples. Maguire and Lindelof. Last season we had third most clean sheets. This season we're crap. So that third most clean sheets argument goes out the window now. Why are you picking Maguire and Lindelof this season? We're living in the now. We're living in the here. So there's so many of these contradictions and these paradoxes, there's so many. For example, playing Cavani and then moving Martial to the left. Why is Martial still playing? People say Rashford needs to get dropped. Yes, I agree, Rashford needs to get dropped, but for who? For who? At least if you drop Martial, Cavani comes on because Martial's the striker, right? But for who are you going to drop Rashford for? Dan James, are you having a laugh? Dan James, are you having a laugh? So Rashford kind of has to play in the same way that Bruno kind of has to play, even when they're having a bad game. Because who else are you going to play? Who else are you going to play? Greenwood on the right should be involved more often now. This argument that he's young, it falls away from me. Last season, I was willing to listen to it. This season, I was willing to see Greenwood play as much as he did last season and then a bit more. But now it seems like he's just not playing. And he seems to be one of our inform attackers. I don't understand. Paradox. There's so many of these paradoxes, and I could sit here for an hour and talk about all of them, but I'm not going to do that because I know you have a life, and so do I. So we're not going to do that. But the point I'm trying to make is people who are Ollie out don't want to see the club burn. In fact, I would love nothing more than Ollie to go and win the league and prove me wrong, but I don't think he will, and that opinion is not a crime. It should never be a crime. I should be allowed to say the words Ollie out, and actually, it's got nothing to do with our position in the table right now. If you've been watching this channel long enough, you'll know that I've been Ollie out for a long time, bruh. Since last year. Even when we were top of the league, I was like, I still don't think we're going to do it. And then look what happened now. Look what happened. We lost to West Brom. Jokes. I mean, not lost. Drew, but it feels like we lost. Jokes. Absolute jokes, fam. We're in a title race, but we can't beat the bottom teams in the league. Grow up.